on the panel.
That's right.
Economic impact of social media. And then we'll have Sajid just talk about how do you verify the story.
I think in the short term, social media is going to make about a few hundred people very, very rich in the next 12 months, right? It's already happened. So there's sort of that short-term view on it. I think it's affecting everything. So even in terms of not just GDP growth, but you look at how recruiting is done today in this world. The whole recruiting industry, $160 billion industry, has absolutely been changed by the advent of LinkedIn or just the social graph in general. You don't get hired anymore through these proprietary databases that recruiters have. You get hired based on your public profile, which is effectively your resume. And that's how everyone gets hired in the world, and everyone hires. So I think it's going to be, again, I think it goes back to this, not so much direct impact of social media companies, it's the second order consequences of how the world changes when everything is public and when authority and profile data on every person is essentially out there for anyone to use. So I think that's where the value really is going to get added. I mean, it's hard to give you a monetary number, but I think it will absolutely transform it in every vertical, right? We started seeing it in gaming. I'm talking about it in recruiting. I've actually invested in a peer-to-peer lending company that's doing loans based on how close you and I are connected. So it turns out we went to the same high school, went to the same college, for instance. There's probably a better chance that I'm going to repay my loan to you. So I think it goes across industry, and there's going to be an entire new category of players in every industry that's going to take advantage of it, and that creates opportunity.
I'll quickly add on that, from another economic metric, just from the media industry, Facebook recently took over Yahoo as the biggest source of display ads, which is huge. So it again tells you the power of reaching people who are willing to pay. So it's just another metric of its impact when it comes to having economic impact. So why don't we have Sajid, you address the second part of the question, and then we'll take one last question. Mubashir is giving the look. So
the question, just to make sure I understand correctly, was how do you verify stories? Going back to another point, I think a lot of it for us in our particular newsroom is an age issue. A lot of my job right now consists of trying to convince TV reporters and TV anchors that they need to be on the web. None of them that I know of that I've ever worked with will take a tweet and run with it as fact. They just don't feel comfortable. But then I work with a lot of freelance bloggers, freelance writers. They have absolutely no problem taking something that a blog post and running with it as fact. And one of the things that they're actually taught, none of these people are journalism trained, the bloggers and the writers that I work with, they're taught that you're on the web. If you make a mistake, you can always go back and do a strike through and correct it.
All right, Faraz.
So I'm Faraz Udboy. I run a social media company.